If I am being honest with you guys in terms of the mistakes that I made in my investing journey, it wasn't because I didn't know enough. They were because I believed in the wrong things early on in my investing journey. These were things that sounded super smart. These were things that everyone else repeated. Believe you me, if I checked on most of the news channels, these are the things that I saw. When I went on social media, these are the things that I would see. And in the process, it felt like it was urgent for me to just buy any stocks, and instead of being deliberate, I learned my lessons the hard way. So in this video, I want to share why I genuinely wish someone had told me these things before I started investing. Not theory, not hype, but lessons that I learned the hard way. If you are still early on this journey or rebuilding after making mistakes, this will save your time, stress, and probably your money. Let's get into it. But quick note, whatever I say on my channel here, I am sharing my personal experience. Always take what you think makes sense to your situation, and always do your own due diligence before investing your money. I'm not a licensed financial advisor, but I'm someone who trades and invests my own money in the market, and in the process I learn and I share some of the lessons that I'm learning. Now, the first thing that I would say is that most people confuse activity with the progress. What I wish I knew early on was that doing more in the market doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to make a lot of money. I used to think that frequent trading, increases my profitability, but when I look at the data, now I don't trade much. Sometimes in a week I make 1 or 2 trades, or no trades at all, right? Most of my time I'm researching, I'm trying to understand the businesses, reading what's going on, understanding and just being aware of what is going on in the macroeconomic picture. That is, I'm looking at interest rates, inflation, what is happening in the US, other economies, the European Union, India, Asia, Australia. I'm reading and trying to connect the dots. What is happening in the commodities market? I'm looking at gold, silver. Recently, these commodities have been going up. So that was the mistake that I made. And number 2, I realized that you don't need to predict the stock prices. You need a process. So early on, I spent too much time thinking and asking myself, where is the market going next? Nobody's gonna tell you 100% confidently, because there are a lot of moving variables, right? And I would ask myself, what will rates do? Just yesterday, the Fed in the US, that is the board of directors who determine whether interest rates are going to be increased or reduced, and also influence money supply. So I used to think like, okay, are they going to increase or reduce? But I realized it's stressful, but in most cases you are just lying to yourself like, okay, this is going to be the next big thing. So instead, I eventually learned that instead of trying to predict and adding stress to myself, I want to have a framework and a process that I would rather follow. So I spend far more time doing research, managing risk for the positions that I have, and trying to just enter positions for the stocks that I understand and I believe they are fundamentally strong. And when I choose not to act, that's when I decided to say, you know what, let me monitor this, and my return has been much better ever since. So now I have a repeatable framework that matters more than just being right on the direction of the price. Then lesson number 3 was that cash is not a failure, it's a position in itself. I used to be fully invested, so that means if the market drops by 40-50%, most of my positions, if I had 100,000 invested, it would be 50,000. So now, depending on what I see as the volatility index, right? I like to see basically the volatility index. It prices the expectations of traders and investors, let's say for the next 30 days. So if they are expecting that the market is going to go up, right, in the future, most likely it's going to drop. So it's more like the opposite of what happens in the equities market. Another similar way is to just monitor the fear and greed index, right? So when there's extreme fear, it means a lot of people are fearful. Usually stocks drop, and that's when I will have done my research and I will be getting in for the most part. So when the fear and greed index is at a point where there's a lot of greed, usually I want to be more careful. I want to have maybe 40 to 50% in cash. In case there's a pullback, then I get in, right? And that's just the way that I like to trade and invest. Having cash, it gives me flexibility and optionality rather than just having no control in terms of my trading. Lesson number 4 has been that losses come from ignoring risk and not necessarily bad ideas. Here's an uncomfortable truth. Most people think that it's because you are probably picking wrong stocks. Yes, of course, that might be the case. But what I have seen is that I want to be getting into a trade or a position fully aware of the potential risk that I am getting myself into. For example, if I get into SoFi, for example, which has earnings tomorrow on the 30th of January, I'm recording this video on 29th January. I should be comfortable. Let's say it's trading at $24. It means that's 2,400 for 100 shares. So what I usually do is like, okay, I'm gonna be taking a position. Let's say I use a cash secured put, let's say for a delta of, let's say 0.2, let's say it's 20 and I get paid $1. That means for 100 units or one option, in that case, I will get paid $100 for those for that one contract if I sell that option for a lower strike price. And that's it. I know my risk in that case will be, let's say if I said it's for 2,400 and I go for $20 strike price, is $2,000. That's my risk. So that's my risk in that, and then I subtract the $100 that I get as premium if I wait for it to expire. So that will be $1,900 that I am risking. Now, I don't want to be overexposed in one stock. So most of the time, I would be over invested in one stock. Once I see that I have more than 10% invested in one stock, what happens is that if that stock plummets, then it's gonna kill my whole portfolio, because if it's overweight and I'm wrong on that, and believe you me, whether you think you are smarter than everyone else, it can happen to everyone, right? So managing risk is very, very important. Now, lesson number 5 I've learned is that fundamentals matter. I've seen that from my experience. I want to invest in businesses that are profitable and publicly listed, of course. But the key thing is they have to be profitable. If it's something that has just started being profitable, it has to have been profitable for at least the past 4 quarters, right? And I look at the price to earnings ratio and also use the discounted cash flow model to just have an idea of the range of valuation for that stock. And these are all based on assumptions. So the key thing is I like to compare my analysis or my valuation with what the analysts in Wall Street are saying about that stock. And nobody can really predict precisely where the stock is going, because there are a lot of variables. Interest rates might be variable. Maybe the president of the United States might say something that might move the markets and make people move to gold. And there are lots of things that are really unknowable. But you know what? The challenge that I've seen talking to clients and reading is that we just think that we can predict the market. And a lot of people, they pay a lot of money for people who say they are predicting, right? It's impossible, to be honest, from my experience. But of course, there are some people who are forecasters, right? And Warren Buffett used to laugh at them to say, okay, a lot of people, they, especially economists like myself, right? And I'm not saying this in a bad way. The margin of error for the most part is it's very difficult. Like I said, there are a lot of unknowns, right? Who would have predicted that there was going to be COVID pandemic? Who would have predicted that there was going to be the Trump tariff situation that really caused the US stock market to drop? Some things are impossible to know, right? If you don't have inside information, which is of course illegal. Now, as I wrap up, I just wanted to ask you guys to subscribe and make sure you support my channel. And if you want to learn more about how to invest and trade, make sure you book a one-on-one coaching on www.streetwiseeconomics.com. Now, as I wrap up, the other important lesson number 7 that I have seen that is important is to keep an eye on the macroeconomics. It's not a trading signal, but I want to stay informed about the geopolitics, inflation, interest rates, global risks. That's why it's very important to just read and understand what's going on. The US policy in Venezuela right now, there is the Iran US conflict. So those things, I like to pay attention to what's going on and just be aware. So if I could go back to my younger self, I would say I would wish I had slowed down, built a process, respected risk, and stopped trying to look smart and predicting the market. Investing isn't about being right all the time. In my view, it's about staying in the game long enough. It's about not blowing your account, compounding it positively for a long time. That's what Warren Buffett, for example, has been using. I like to use Warren Buffett because he's more like a role model to me, because a lot of the things that he spoke about, I have implemented them and I have been having fairly decent results. So thank you so much. Again, I offer limited coaching. Make sure you book on one-on-one coaching on www.streetwiseeconomics.com. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye, and thank you for watching this video.